You're listening to AIMA live at 7 a.m. Welcome to our special edition on the Pueblo Revolt.
I need to write a letter to the Viceroy of New Spain immediately. I must tell him everything. Dear Viceroy of New Spain, after 12 long and restless years, as 2 years ago, King Charles II has commissioned me to be governor of New Mexico to reconquer the land which was in rebels' hands for the past 12 years. However, I ask of you to assist me in my efforts to colonize the land inhabited by these savages. I request your majesty to send me 500 familias to Santa Fe and 100 soldiers to protect Nuestra Familia. Do not fret. These families will be provided for with provisions, supplies, and land. I am yearning to explore the treasures that are buried within the grounds of Coma, Zuni, and Macui, and cultivate this rich soil. The initial and foremost action, however, is to build a church where we will rightfully honor Our Lady of Conquest. However, in order to resist the rebellion that once happened a dozen years ago, we must not stamp out tribal religion. All efforts are vital to reconquest the land that is rightfully ours. Sincerely, Diego de Vargas.
Now, let's talk about how this really unfolded. The year is 1679. The Spanish have established the first permanent settlements in Florida and New Mexico. The Spanish have also been pursuing the system of encomienda, where large numbers of American Indians were assigned to work on the land of a Spanish person. The Indians, however, resented this forced labor. The Spanish were also forced to practice Catholicism by reading the Bible and preaching customs that weren't native to them. Pueblo Indians who lived in New Mexico were particularly upset about these obligations.
Listen up, Velas. I bet you've enjoyed your savages and sinful ways, but things are about to change. It's time to get rid of your cachina dancing and silly customs. From now on, you are to follow the word of God, cleanse yourselves and be rightful Christians. You'll have to work for one of us and just deal with it.
Although the Spanish have brought us Tewa Indians many aspects of their culture, like their irrigation techniques, herbal remedies, livestock, and especially their tasty peaches, they're up to no good. I see no happy ending ever since they have come. It's destined that violence and bloodshed will happen. I taste a revolt in the near future. I wish someone would stand up to them.
My tribe, the Immerse people, hate them too. It would possibly be wise to ally and rise against these offensive men with their horses and native tongue.
But our tribes are in deep waters. Your people refuse to trade ceramics with each other for God's sake. You're a Jemez and I'm a Tewa. Why would we want to fight with you?
The Spanish are a bigger threat than we are. We need to work together to stop them rather than fighting with one another.
I suppose you aren't wrong.
It is now 1680. Like many of these friendships arising from the shared hatred for the Spanish colonization, Pueblos under Pope led to talks of revolt. The Pueblo Indians have had enough. Constantly being beaten into submission, they have decided to revolt against the Spanish. They drove out Spanish authorities, killed Franciscan priests, and sacked mission churches. Although the Pueblo Revolt era was an exciting fight for liberation, American Indian lives were being lost significantly.
This is for the harsh conditions of the encomienda system in which we are dehumanized and are forced to suffer extreme punishments.
This is for the cultural repression which made us lose our ancestral ties.
This is for forcing us to convert to Catholicism or risk death.
This is for making us mine tirelessly for your stupid gold which is nowhere to be found.
Although Spanish domination of the Southwest led to rich cultural exchanges between the Spanish and Pueblo Indians, Spanish domination ultimately led to the Pueblo Revolt being necessary to shake religious repression in Mexico, form new alliances between once tense pueblos, and inspire other indigenous groups to push for racial equality.
The effects of the Pueblo Revolt could be seen in regions beyond New Mexico. Other people were inspired by the rebellion and started to rise up against the colonists.
The Franciscan friars also gained respect for the natives of their Pueblo Revolt. The Pueblo people were allowed to coexist with the Catholics and practice their religion freely.
The activism displayed by the Pueblo Indians in the Pueblo Revolt is mirrored even today, with black populations in the United States rising up to advocate for racial equality. The effects of the Pueblo Revolt are long-standing. Although the Pueblo Revolt took strife, bloodshed, and violence for the American Indians to only regain and occupy their land for a dozen years, it has inspired the future generations to take a stand against injustice.
Make sure to tune in next week for a special edition on the American Revolution, only on AIMA.